Imagine being ripped from your family, branded a criminal without evidence, and imprisoned in a country you fled as a child. This is the devastating reality for Kilmar Abrejo Garcia, a Maryland resident and father, who was wrongfully deported to El Salvador under the Trump administration.
The shocking case of Kilmar Abrejo Garcia continues to divide America.
Despite a U.S. Supreme Court order demanding his return, political defiance and baseless allegations have kept him imprisoned.
And in just the last couple of minutes, we're learning a judge wants answers now from the Trump administration in what could be the world's most watched immigration case.
This case exposes the dark intersection of politics and justice, where bureaucratic failures can shatter lives. We'll dive deeper into Kilmar's powerful story, but first, hit subscribe to stay updated on our latest videos. Kilmar Abrejo Garcia's life in San Salvador, El Salvador, was marked by fear and violence. Born in July 1995, he grew up in a neighborhood controlled by the ruthless Barrio 18 gang. His family was constantly threatened. His father, a former police officer, was targeted for allegedly aiding rival factions, and his mother, Maria, struggled to keep her small pupuseria afloat amidst gang extortion. As threats escalated, including promises to forcibly recruit Kilmar, the family knew they had to escape. At 16, Kilmar fled alone, joining the perilous journey north with other unaccompanied minors. He braved treacherous borders, harsh desert conditions, and uncertainty, seeking safety in the United States. In Maryland, Kilmar built a new life, finding solace in a small Salvadoran community where many shared similar stories of escape and resilience. He immersed himself in adult ESL classes, worked diligently in construction, and earned a reputation as a quiet, respectful, and hard-working individual. Kilmar's life took a meaningful turn in 2016 when he met Jennifer Stefania Vasquez Sura, a devoted mother of 2 children with special needs. They bonded over shared values of family, stability, and hard work, and soon welcomed their own child, Mateo. When Mateo was diagnosed with autism and a hearing impairment, Kilmar became a dedicated father, attending every therapy session and providing unwavering support. As Jennifer worked double shifts, Kilmar took on a pivotal role, caring for the children, packing lunches, and driving them to appointments. He was the rock of the family, providing stability and love. But Kilmar's life in the U.S. took a drastic turn under the Trump administration's hardline immigration policies. ICE was empowered to aggressively target immigrants, including those with clean records. A policy dubbed Enhanced Interior Enforcement singled out Central Americans, particularly Salvadorans, for scrutiny. Despite having secured withholding of removal status, which allowed him to live and work in the U.S. legally, Kilmar became vulnerable to deportation due to flawed gang allegations based on social media photos and clothing choices. Even with a spotless record and regular ICE check-ins, Kilmar was caught in the administration's dragnet. On March 15, 2025, Kilmar Abrejo Garcia was abruptly deported from the United States, shackled and taken away in the dead of night without warning or explanation. His family was left in the dark, unaware of his fate. Upon arrival in El Salvador, Kilmar was immediately imprisoned in CICOT, a notorious detention center built under President Nayib Bukele's anti-gang policies. Despite having no criminal record, Kilmar was subjected to harsh conditions, stripped of his clothes, tattooed with a number, and forced to share a cell with alleged gang members. He faced minimal food, scarce hygiene, and denied phone calls. His wife, Jennifer, only discovered his location by scouring state-released photos, identifying him by a tattoo and scar. Kilmar, a dedicated father and husband, was now labeled a terrorist without evidence, lost in a system that sent him there. The case ultimately reached the U.S. Supreme Court, which issued a unanimous 9-0 decision siding with Kilmar. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote, "If we allow the government to ignore court orders and remove individuals from our jurisdiction at will, we abandon the rule of law." Despite this legal victory, the Supreme Court's decision couldn't retrieve Kilmar from prison in El Salvador, as the executive branch refused to comply. Despite the Supreme Court's ruling, the Trump administration persisted in its stance, claiming Kilmar was a gang affiliate based on flimsy evidence, such as a Chicago Bulls hat and clothing style. No charges or trial supported these claims. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts to secure Kilmar's return stalled. Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele defied international pressure, labeling Kilmar an internal security threat and dismissing U.S. court orders. Senator Chris Van Hollen's personal appeal for Kilmar's release fell on deaf ears. The diplomatic deadlock persisted, with Kilmar's life hanging in the balance, as both governments refused to budge. Jennifer Vasquez Sura was left to care for their 3 children alone, juggling 2 jobs and fighting for her husband's return. Mateo, their youngest, regressed in development, and doctors linked it to stress from Kilmar's disappearance. Jennifer received no government support, relying on food banks and community aid. She vehemently denied ICE's claims of domestic violence, calling them a lie, invented to justify Kilmar's deportation. Despite community rallies, petitions, and advocacy, the government remained unmoved. Kilmar remains imprisoned in El Salvador, separated from his family. What do you think about this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below.